In late summer, it seemed to the soldiers of the SS Division Reich that after resting from a long period of almost constant combat, that they would finally spearhead the advance towards Moscow, which would end the war. This is part 21 in the series that covers this sensational war diary, written by a platoon leader from the motorized infantry division Das Reich named Kurt, who led during the final assault on Moscow in the winter of 1941-42. Following Kurt's diary entries, and adding rare associated film clips, we'll see what his unit was up to during their first extended period of rest and recuperation. Using an original situational map, we'll see the options that were open to the German High Command for a decision that likely decided the outcome of the war. So stick around, it's worth it. The last time we were with Kurt, he and his unit were safely protected from an enemy artillery barrage in carefully prepared bunkers. They were waiting for the formation to arrive that would relieve them of their duties holding their sector of the front. Der 18. August 1941. Mit Beginn der Dunkelheit. The process of being relieved begins with the coming of darkness. A heavy thunderstorm opens up and makes the experience thoroughly unpleasant. Wet as dogs, we arrive to a nearby town, not far from the front. Since we'll be staying the night, we lay everything out in front of large open fireplaces to dry. The following morning, we are up early and head in the direction of Westniki by Roslawl. Der 20. August 1941. Im Morgengrauen at dawn, we arrive to our destination and, being responsible for organizing our living accommodations for the area around Smolensk, I receive the order to move on ahead and prepare for the arrival of the unit. The company follows at 900 hours. About 20 kilometers to the northeast of Smolensk, we find an appropriate area containing various villages where we set up camp for the 2nd Battalion. The 8th Company sets up its tents on top of a cleared hill next to a village, and all the vehicles are parked in dilapidated barns and empty stalls. The weather is beautiful, however, still exceedingly hot. And finally, we're able to enjoy days of rest and recuperation. Since the nearby fields are ready for harvest and there are few men around to do the work, the battalion commander orders us to help organize and harvest the wheat fields. The residents of the villages are brought together and experience for the first time in their lives the efficiency of German methods of organizing work. The work schedule is set up, and each villager is to receive 10 kilograms of flour each day for the work. The villagers have trouble understanding the trade-off, since the work they'd always done in the collective farms was not paid back in any kind of meaningful way. Once understood, however, they work hard, all the while singing and laughing, as if there was no war going on around them. Our men, including the commander leading the way, are also happy being involved in work that is non-war related. Within 10 days, the entire harvest is brought in. all ready to be threshed and put into sacks for storage. There are youths that had been receiving German language lessons that can be communicated with relatively easily, and much of our time together is spent talking. During these days, it's been possible to get a better understanding of the thoughts and feelings of the Russian people. In the evenings, after the day's work is finished, we've even begun holding discussions related to political ideologies. The initial mistrust we've been able to overcome, and the stereotypes they have of us are so comical that we often have to control ourselves to keep from laughing. For example, one of the young women was asked what expectations she had for the future and what she thought of the German soldiers. Her answer was that the German soldiers were generally liked because they always seemed happy and were often singing and laughing. There was, however, something that they didn't understand, and only after encouragement did one of the women finally open up. Why don't the German soldiers come in the evening to be with the young Russian women? Don't they do that? My answer that German soldiers only go with German women confused them. They contemplated the meaning for a long time in silence. The following morning, one of them asked to see a photograph of a German woman. The photo I showed was an instant sensation and was passed around among all the women. None of them had seen anything like it. One named Katya exclaimed that she wanted to learn German as quickly as possible and then to move to Germany to work and so, one day, be able to look like a German woman. Since the beginning of Barbarossa, the German Wehrmacht had certainly gained much territory in the Soviet Union, but the enemy's ability to resist had not been broken. In fact, there were indications that its strength was growing. Around August 19th and 20th, with summer coming to an end, the German High Command was at a crossroads. Their three main options were to take Leningrad, which would allow the German and Finnish forces to link up, and secure the entire northern front. They could then continue the advance to the southeast into the central regions, without the danger of being outflanked. Their second option was to advance on Moscow. Some believed that taking the Soviet capital would end the war. Moscow was also the central hub of the Soviet rail network, and its elimination would certainly cause logistical chaos for the enemy on all fronts. And finally, their third option was to win a decisive battle of annihilation to the south around Kiev in the Ukraine. If that could be accomplished, it would open up the Crimea, endanger the important industrial region of the Donets, and put the oil-rich Caucasus region within striking distance. During these days of rest, it's understandable that the close proximity of Kurt's regiment, Der Führer, to the Minsk-Moscow highway indicated that the German High Command was preparing for the final push on Moscow, and that the SS Division Reich would play a central role. Among the men, it was the leading topic of conversation. Surely, as a precondition, the elements of the division that had remained to the south would soon be arriving. Little did they know, Hitler had made up his mind, and on August 20th, the day of Kurt's diary entry that we just covered, orders were arriving that would send the division south, to take part in the attack towards Kiev. If you like material created using primary historical sources like this, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Use the QR code to create a free account and check out the example exclusive footage. Thanks for watching.